Keep your radio dial right here. You're locked into the hottest news station on the planet. Hot 702.5 in FM sound. Blazing today's hip-hop, R&B, and pop music. Keeping your radio on fire. Bringing you the hottest, realest, riskiest talk shows live 24/7 on hot7025fm.com.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Cheryl Underwood, and you're tuned into the hottest news station on the planet, Hot 702.5.
Hi. Hey.
What's up?
All your favorite artists.
Check it out. Say my name.
DJ Khaled.
This is Mila J.
Bruno Mars.
On hot7025fm.com.
How y'all doing today?
What's up? Is my mic on?
I got
my
you.
mic on? Thank you. What's up? Hot 702.5 FM. It's your girl, Joe, and welcome to Laugh Therapy, where we elevate your mood and your mental one laugh at a time. Today, guys, we have an episode for you. Super fun topic. We will be discussing gentle parenting. I'm trying to be gentler, okay? I'm working my way to gentle here, and then I think it'll be a really fun topic, and I think it'll be really interesting to hear your point of view on this, babe, being the bonus parent who's coming into an already established parental relationship, and then having to form that parental bond and respect with bonus children. So I think hearing your point of view on it will be really interesting, and getting into that, the bonus parenting as well as the parenting and kind of how we navigate those roles. Alrighty.
Oh yeah, this is gonna be fun.
So it'll be a really interesting topic, really interesting conversation, and you guys will get to know us a little bit more as well. But let's start with defining it. How would you define gentle parenting?
Gentle parenting, it's a lot of redirecting, right? It is basically a partnership between you and your child, and y'all are trying to co-create a healthy environment with communication, and giving them choices internally, and critically thinking through things, and you making yourself aware of the behavior that you project as well. Onto them. Basically, a lot of the stuff that we didn't get when we was growing up.
Right. Okay. Okay. Your answer was so Wikipedia. I don't know. How would I define gentle parenting? I feel like, in my own words, because I didn't do loads of research. I read some parenting books before I had, my kids, and I wasn't reading it to necessarily absorb everything. I was almost looking at it almost like a grade book. So I would look at the book and I'd go, oh yeah, I can do that. Oh yeah, I can do that. Oh yeah, I can. Oh no, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. Like in the book. So it was like I was looking at it like, oh, these are things that I can try to be. I was like, nah, if I'm not that already, like I'm not.
Wait, was it things that you were going to have to actively work to do, or it was just like things out of the question?
Both. There were examples of both. Like the redirecting, I thought that I could do, but I was like, how long are you supposed to redirect them? I felt like it was like a scriptural thing, like turn the other cheek, but it didn't tell me how many times I'm supposed to turn.
That's my point.
Like that's how I felt when I was reading a lot of the parenting books. I was like, okay, so redirect them to what?
Because we need books for kids to teach them how to be kids.
Yeah,
too.
How to be better children. Because what? Like I know what I'm doing. Like I made it to adulthood. I'm fine. Like
I'm
like
still
that's how
here.
I approached it, right? So that's how I approached it. So when it came to gentle parenting, I feel like I made up my own definition. It was just being gentler than my parents were with me. And I felt like I had accomplished.
I don't think that's it.
Yeah, I felt like I had accomplished it. Like that's what gentle parenting is, not hitting them as much times as I got hit. That was winning. Like I felt like my kids,
Yeah, I got whooped 3 days a week. They only get it once.
Right. Like I was like, y'all don't know how good you got it. Like that's just.
I am so good to you.
And I know that sounds horrible, but if I knew better, I would have done better, guys. If I knew better, I'd do better. But I had my first kid at 20, And my patience is thin now, like in my 30s. So at 20, my patience was a lot worse. I felt like everything was supposed to happen like this, especially since I felt like my children were extremely intelligent.
Wait, you have more patience now?
Yes, I have way more patience now than I did at 20.
Yo,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah. So
Y'all gotta understand. Her patience is at like 1 now. So it was at 0 back then?
yeah.
Oh, all right.
So I feel like today my gentle parenting looks a lot differently than what I thought gentle parenting was at 20, 22, 23, you know? But did I really answer the question? What is gentle parenting? I feel like it's a lot of redirecting and trying to communicate more with your child without using punishments or resulting to threats. And although I think that I am great with communication now and I do a lot better at it with my children now, I do have to admit that when I started, like with my daughter, she had a great vocabulary. So I talked to her often, but I often talked at her as well. And that's something I had to acknowledge later as I got better with my gentle parenting. Right.
Y'all gonna hear that a lot today.
But how do you approach discipline with gentle parenting?
So first off, let's get this out in the open. I am not a staunch believer in. No, you can hit it.
I was gonna laugh, but you went in another direction.
I'm not a staunch believer in gentle parenting as a whole, like 100%. So I don't think it's one extreme or the other, like traditional old school trauma parenting, as we said earlier. But I don't think it's all gentle parenting either. I think the answer is somewhere in the middle, especially depending on what kind of kids you got.
That's true.
Yeah, because
I feel like gentle parenting is easier when you have gentle children.
Yeah. Yeah. So, like, for
mine came out no limit soldiers.
I thought I told you. Look, them little gangsters. So for me, like when I was growing up, my mom could be more, I guess if you want to consider it, gentle, because I was high functioning, high thought process, critical thinking skills. I was very mature. So she could just talk to me and we could get stuff done that way. So I guess my mama was kind of a gentle parent. Like I can only remember, honestly, I don't even remember any of the whoopings. I know I got some from my mama, but I don't really remember them. But that's neither here nor there. So with my personal approach with legend and legacy, y'all ain't met them.
No limit soldiers.
It's in the middle. So I think we have like everything's intertwined because sometimes they don't get it when you try to speak to them. Oh yes, we're not going to jump on the couch. We're going to put our feet on the floor instead. That would be a gentle parenting example. I don't think they would get that. Sometimes you got to say, why are you jumping on my couch? You need to get down. Then that's when they and get down, right? Mm-hmm. Like put our feet on the floor. That's not working for those two.
I could literally see my son, if somebody said something like that, let's put our feet on the floor, him taking his foot,
Why?
Putting it on the floor and going, eh.
Yeah, why?
Like said, yeah, something like that. Yeah. I get that. I would say my approach is I have like a limit, if that makes sense. I give a chance, I have a conversation. I give another chance, I have a conversation, right? Maybe like the third time I give a natural consequence to it, right? Like I told you to put this towel up. Hey, son, didn't I ask you to put the towel up? Son, can you put the towel up? And then the next time it's hey, since you didn't pick the towel up, I don't know, you don't have a towel to finish taking a bath with, and you got to figure it out. Like
you just take their whole towel.
Yeah, I was like, now you don't got a towel. So
you got to tell them about the peanut butter and jelly thing.
Now you just a wet booty. My son loves peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. My youngest son absolutely loves peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. And I was very petty the other day because I thought we didn't have any more bread. So when he came in asking for a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, I already told him, no, because we don't have any bread. This boy can never find anything, y'all. If you tell him, if he's looking for something, he will not look. He will just go into the room where he thinks it is and then come out and say he couldn't find it. So I tell him there's no more bread, and all of a sudden he could find some bread.
He became an FBI agent.
Absolutely. He came out like, I don't know where he got Inspector Gadget arms from, but he was like, it was on the refrigerator. Like, what? So anyway, he brings me the bread for me to make the peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and I decided since I'm going to make him his lunch, I'll go ahead and give him one of my cookies, because he's always asking for one of my crumble cookies. And I was like, I'll give him one of my cookies, just being, nice mommy. I opened my crumble cookie box, and he done already ate my crumble cookies after I told him he couldn't have any earlier. So he stole the cookies. So while trying to tell him that it's not okay to continue, taking stuff from people. Yes, to take stuff from people. I had plans for those crumble cookies. Like, I was actually going to share one with you, but you actually ate yours and mine. My way of teaching him that lesson was to then eat the peanut butter and jelly sandwich
right in front of him.
So, like I said, I'm working on my gentle parenting.
Yo, this is a true story. This is not made up at all.
I'm working on my gentle parenting, but he pissed me off.
He was pseudo gentle. You ain't whooping.
He ate my cookie, y'all. Don't roast me in the comments. That boy ate my goddamn cookie. I'm sorry. Not sorry. And that peanut butter and jelly sandwich, it was with the strawberry preserves too, y'all. It was good. It was gonna be fire. He would have really liked that one. I toasted the bread and everything.
We having too much fun. Oh God.
It was good. What was the question? Oh, how do you approach discipline with gentle parenting? So just stuff like that. I lose sometimes. I feel like sometimes what I thought was gentle it actually turns out to just be petty. But those are the types.
Is that traumatizing?
I don't know. You think he gonna be like 13 and be like, I remember when you ate that peanut butter and jelly sandwich. You think I traumatized my baby? I don't know.
Y'all tell us in the comments.
I was real upset that he ate my cookie. That's gonna be my comeback. I was traumatized too. I wanted that cookie. It was a macadamia nut cookie.
Trauma for trauma, huh?
Yes, it was a trade-off.
I didn't get none of the cookie, mind you. She saved him some, and I ain't getting now.
And then he stole it from both of us. So I've learned my lesson. I will save you a cookie next time, baby.
Thank you.
Can you give an example of a time when you had to address or correct challenging behavior with the boys, and did you use gentle parenting techniques?
There's lots of times.
Let's see
how I approached it as a gentle. Mm-hmm. Okay, because I told y'all I am a mix. I'm intertwined. So with our kids, literally, there will be a week when we can cruise through the week with just redirecting and talking to them and having a conversation, and they'll get it. But then towards the end of that week, that's when they stop listening completely. And then we got to get into the thug mode. Okay, you not understanding when I was trying to talk to you and talk it out with you. Now we into the mode where I have to yell because you not listening to nothing else that I'm saying. Nothing else is getting through to you. So at this moment in time, the gentle is gone. She's not here at the moment. But a moment where I gentle parented, okay, this was one of those mixed moments. So at first, y'all, I was on my 13th reason that day. It has been a week. Let me just put it, because this happened a few days ago. Yeah, she wasn't there for this. Her brother was there, and he was, oh man, Monk, if you are listening, a shout out to you, because you saved everybody in that house that night.
She said that like I was going to pull up to flames.
Look, I was having a day, and look here, parents, y'all chime in, because y'all know sometimes y'all done had the 13th reason. I hope your mama's listening so she can comment and tell everybody about the 13th reason she had with you.
My mom about 46 reasons.
So I had cooked dinner, and I had made just enough dinner for everybody in the house. Made everybody's plates, gave the boys their plates. One of the boys had his stuffed animal underneath his arm and his blanket hanging over his back like a cape. And he was trying to pull his chair down to set it down, knocked his food over, his brother's food over, and I'm like, yo, what we finna eat now? And if I was the old school traditional trauma parent, I'd have just made them some noodles and made them go to bed. I did yell because I was frustrated and I shouldn't have took that out on them. I will admit that. But after I gave them my food, I took the food out of my own mouth and I gave it to them, made their plates. And here's the kicker, is the one that spilt everybody's food. He asked for dessert after. And instead, because I was already frustrated and I was up here, I was at the edge, instead of yelling, I just calmly said, Legend, it's past your bedtime. Go ahead and go take a bath and go to bed. I did it. I need to be celebrated.
Good job,
I did that.
Good job, baby. Oh, where'd it go? Oh,
I did that.
good job.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of my, and this is an example of when being gentle parents who also still every now and then dabble in the traditional parenting style goes wrong because we have different times that we are gentle.
Thank you, Jazzy.
The time that I remember is we were at Macy's and my boys they had turned into Tasmanian devil guys. I have no idea why they were acting the way that they were acting, but I was actually quite zen because earlier that day, we live in Vegas. Earlier that day, we had decided to try some new type of like calming CBD and THC edibles. So I am chilling. I'm on like level, I don't know, I'm on cloud 9. I'm in a great mood. I'm feeling serendipity, and she decides she wants to go to Macy's. So she's driving cool, got the kids in the car. We get to Macy's and my boys turn into absolute, like I said, Tasmanian devils. They're ripping through the clothes, rolling on the floor. They're bumping into people. They're smelling all the perfumes, opening things like they have lost their minds, right? And usually I'm the one that would have grabbed somebody by the collar by now and had them in my face like this, talking through my teeth like a church mother type of conversation, right? But I was so chill this day and I'm like, hey, get off the floor, please. Hey, can you stand up? Hey, we don't do that. Like I'm talking to them super gently the entire time. And Jess is like coming behind me and she's going, if you don't get your ass off the floor. And grabbing people by their pant buckles and whatnot. Look, she's picking them up and she's like, put it down.
I don't have no relation to that.
She put it back. So I'm trying on clothes, having a great time. And then we get into the line, and while we're going up there, they're 4 and 5 at this time. So of course they want something. They're like, can we have? And they point at something. Before they even get the words out of their mouth good, Jess done turned around and looked at them and, do you think that you deserve after the way that you've been acting? Like just like snaps a little, and you haven't earned, candy. And I turn and I'm trying to explain to my son that everything in life doesn't have to be earned. There are some freebies. We do get, random blessings from the universe and all this. Like I'm on that level of happy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm on, everything doesn't have to be earned, love, light, positivity, world is great type shit, talking to my kid. And all of these other parents and elders are standing in the line and they're looking at me
and it
like
became a whole spectacle.
Yes,
And
I'm just
like
about
they
to
almost
get a Grammy,
started clapping.
Like they're all teary-eyed. It's a whole moment. They're watching me, gently parent my son. And I look up at Jess expecting to see that same twinkle and loving look. And she was seething. Like she's looking at me like, first of all, who are you? And why haven't you grabbed somebody by the collar too?
Because that's what I was used to.
Mm-hmm. And then secondly, she's looking at them like, and I just want y'all to know I'm a good goddamn mom. I gentle parent them too. They just was ripping and running through the store, like trying to explain.
She
to
bumped
these
into
random
you,
strangers.
lady.
Right.
He bumped into you, lady. And you was looking at him crazy. And now you want me to gentle parent
to random strangers on why I was gentle, and she snapped the heck out. She's like, you ain't just gonna have me in here looking bad like I don't know how to raise kids. So I would say that was my moment where I felt like, oh yay, like they really got it, and they were really good for like 3 hours after that.
Yo, legit though, remember when we first got together and I used to ask, why you always yelling at them? I didn't understand.
She didn't get it.
And then we moved in together and I understood.
she would get them for like one day out of the weekend because we live in 2 different cities.
Yeah,
So
and
she
it
would
was
get
all
for one-
fun
it
and
was
rah-rah.
Beautiful. They would have a great time. Jess is here, yay! And I'd be snapping because I knew that they were gonna get on my nerve. They were going, turn into Tasmanian devils, and she'd be like, "Babe, it's fine. No, it's fine for you because you've only been here 24 hours." You're getting ready to go home in 6. Like, no, it's not cool. So our gentle parenting journey is a journey, to say the least.
Vicky, okay, why did you change being a yeller? We got a comment from Vicky, and Vicky said, I used to be a yeller.
I won't even ask why. How did you change?
Did
from
your
being a
kid
yeller?
change? Like, what made you not be a yeller anymore? Like, how do I not yell? Because I would like to not yell, but they don't get
Delisa
it.
on TikTok said we are in the same boat. Yeah, it's hard. It goes back and forth. I know that parenting isn't supposed to be easy, but gentle parenting is hard. Like it's. I feel like those are 2 completely different things. Something may not supposed to be easy. I don't know why that sentence sounds so weird coming out of my mouth. Is it making sense? Something may not have been supposed to be easy. Is that the way to word that? I don't know.
I think
but it
there's a
doesn't mean
better
that
way
it
to
has
word it.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean that it has to be hard. Like, it can have its easeful moments and sometimes be a little difficult. Like, I don't feel like that's the way with gentle parenting. Gentle parenting is just hard. I don't see the easy parts of it, because even when it's...
Is it hard, or does it just take more work?
I feel like both of those things mean the same thing.
No, because just because something takes a little bit more work doesn't necessarily mean it might be harder to do.
I think that's exactly what it means. If it takes more work, then it's more difficult than it being easy. Is that would make it hard? What? What is that?
It's
is that my
easier in a sense. It's an easier way out.
Which
It's
means
not.
that your way is the harder way in, right? Like, that's what. No.
No, so it's like the same thing when you say is something hot or something hot, spicy hot, like hot, right?
I don't know. You're going to have to explain it to me now, because I feel like hard is the opposite of easy, and you just try to make it seem like it's not.
When you say it's harder to do, it means it takes more effort. That's the word I was looking for.
Yes.
That doesn't necessarily make it difficult or hard. It just takes more effort to be a gentle parent, I think.
I think that effort makes it hard. I think.
What about it is hard?
The effort. It is. What's hard about gentle parenting is the effort you have to give to not choke children. No, to not
That's the discipline.
to discipline. I think that it is harder to discipline a child in gentle parenting.
We got a response from Vicky. Vicky said, I realized my children were not the reason I was yelling. Oh, okay.
Ooh.
Star, stop,
I
think,
took the star
ask,
thing.
respond. Okay, because we want instant results. Mm-hmm. We do.
We do. I 100% agree with that. I would say that I am guilty of that. Like I said, I'm getting better. If you knew better, you do better. But I 100% agree with.
Well, what's
with
the reason
that.
we're yelling? It's because we want instant results?
Why was I yelling?
I was just thinking it as a whole question that would apply to all of us.
When I started yelling, for me, when I started yelling at the kids, it was because usually they were already loud. So in order for me to be heard over 3 children, because I was outnumbered, they're already, and they're different ages at that time. So I would have to come in hot in order for me to be at a volume that was higher than them. Outside of that, I don't think I was much of a yeller. I was more of a threatener. So I didn't have to yell. They would meet me where I was at. If they were watching TV or doing something, or they did something that was incorrect, I was more of a threatener person. Why would you do that? If you do that, then I'm going to do this type thing, which could be a way of setting a boundary if my boundary did not come with a threat.
I think I've become more conscious of my yelling. But I will say I will have to be more conscious of when I am having a day and they happen to meet me right there. So I got to get better at that with the yelling.
What do you think are some gentle parenting techniques that we could start implementing into the boys' lives right now? And that could benefit someone watching this who's also thinking, because we have a lot of people that are agreeing with us and saying, yeah, we're in the same boat. That's how I parent. That's blah, 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 blah. For those of us that are out there trying to better, what do you think are some gentle parenting techniques that we may be able to
I definitely think we could do more redirecting. And talking it out. Like when we ask them why they did something crazy that they did, it's not for them to internalize and figure it out and process it. It's for our own edification most of the times to figure out why they did that dumbass shit. It's not for them.
The question almost sounds like a threat.
Yeah,
that's why they take so long to answer.
When we ask them questions, it needs to come from a place of getting them to internalize and understand why they did it, and for us to try to understand why they did it at the same time.
Yeah. I feel like we do a good job when we do ask them sometimes, because sometimes they're actually honest. It's not the answer that we want. But sometimes they're actually honest, like, just, well, because I wanted to, like, because I wanted the cookie, right? Like, I'm going to be real with you, Mom.
Is this how we answer phone calls here? Somebody calling in?
Uh-oh.
Whoever was just calling in, call back.
Yeah, if you had a suggestion or whatever on gentle parenting, our bad. But the number's at the bottom, so if you just called in, call back. Our bad. We missed it.
So, Vicky, we tell them, like, we will know that they did something, and we want them to be honest with us. So we'll ask and tell them, look, just be honest. Is that how we supposed to do it? The call? Okay.
Oh, we got our first caller. Hey, first caller.
Hello?
Oh, it's a delay.
Oh.
Hey, first caller. Turn your radio down.
Turn your radio down.
Hello?
Hello, can you hear us? Turn your radio down, love, because we can hear us.
I can't quite hear anybody.
Uh-oh.
Hello, can you hear us? Turn your radio down, love, because we can hear us.
Y'all, we trying to work it out. Bear with us.
Trying to get the sounds together.
Hello?
Hello, can you hear us?
I hear you, but I'm listening to the show, too. Let me turn theirs down.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Who are we speaking to?
This is Jackie.
Hi, Jackie.
Hi.
Hi, and what did you want to contribute to gentle parenting? Did you have some suggestions for gentle parenting?
Yes, I have a suggestion for gentle parenting.
And what suggestion did you have for us, Miss Jackie?
Well, every child is not the same. So that's a kind of question that belongs to the parent.
You believe every parent should decide for themselves?
Yes, because some children you have to be more stern, whereas some of them you can be a little lenient. Because it's already within some certain children, they know that it's wrong. They can feel the difference. But in order to maintain a type of a connection, they do what the other one does. Whereas I had 3 boys, so...
You had 3 boys?
Jackie.
Why my older one followed the younger one.
Okay.
So you see what I'm saying? So sometimes you have to differentiate which children has more of a clear understanding of what you're trying to get through to them.
So you said you raised 3 boys, Miss Jackie. So does that mean that you used corporal punishment on one and gentle parenting on another, based on their not intelligence, but on their understanding?
Yes, but it wasn't so much as corporal. It was a lot of timeout. And I kind of waited, I gave them 3, and I always told them, I'm going to give you 3 chances. If you don't listen to me on the 3rd chance, when you do something wrong, you will get a spanking.
Okay, Miss Jackie, I got a question for you. In life, do we always get 3 chances?
No, in life you don't always get 3 chances. But when they're a certain age, you have to be more stern. So if you're stern when they're younger, when they're older, you won't have to be going through that.
So is that
You understand
if
what I'm saying?
when they get the 3 chances, is that when they older or younger?
When they're younger. But when you do it, you have to lessen it as you go. Like if they understand what you're doing and know how to react around you and when you're in places, you have to make sure that they get the point. Kids don't really
I get
comprehend.
that. So basically,
like
know
people
your
think they
children. Know your children, and I said so. Basically, know your children. Thank you so much for your feedback today, Miss Jackie. For everybody listening, she basically is saying know your children.
We not whooping kids in 2023.
How do we
You can
discuss-
come. Okay.
Y'all are-
Thank you for calling, Miss Jackie.
Okay.
Somebody else called us too. If you want to call back in a few minutes, we would love to hear from you. We not whooping kids in 2023. We gonna drop our kids over at your house.
I know.
Yeah. So you
I
and
think
you
they
and
gonna
your
change
future
their
husband
mind.
can get a taste and see.
I think they'll change their mind.
Yeah, you ain't met ours.
Actually, they're really, really sweet when they're at other people's places. They're really cool. Except that kid they shot in the face
She
with a
said,
Nerf
"No,
gun.
ma'am."
I just automatically go into them shooting that kid in the face with a Nerf gun the other day. I was like, they're really sweet. Oh, except for in that one time. What role would you say communication plays in gentle parenting?
I would say that's the biggest part of it, right? Because we have to communicate why they did was wrong. We have to explain that to them and make them understand. And if we do decide to punish them in any type of way, they have to also understand why they are being punished. I think that is the biggest part of gentle parenting, because you communicating with them, they can internalize it themselves as well and process it.
I get that. I would agree with that. I had a thought and I lost it, but I was thinking the difference between gentle parenting and informed parenting, or informing parenting with having communication. How
Is informed parenting a thing?
I don't know. Did I just make it up? I could have just made it up. I feel like I communicate well with my children. I speak to them. I break things down. I feel like sometimes I may overshare and break things down to them that they don't understand yet, like the money, like concepts, and things of that nature.
Because I'll be the main one
Yeah,
trying to
'cause
explain why y'all leaving all the lights on.
You introduce those things, and those were never conversations that we had before you came
Ever.
into our lives. I never brought up how much the lights cost or how much their clothes cost or anything like that. That wasn't something that I thought, one, I didn't think that they would understand, but also as kids, I just wanted them to be kids. Also, my parents I won't necessarily say that they used it as threats, but they used what I felt were the minimal things that you're supposed to do as a parent as like reasons to be celebrated. And I didn't understand that before I became a parent, but it was very annoying to me as a kid to hear a parent say something like, I pay for the lights and the gas and the water in this doggone house. And I'm thinking, I'm 10. Who else would? You know, like what does that have to do with me? I'm supposed to automatically.
Oh, you're saying
listen.
they wanted to be celebrated for doing those things for you.
Yes, for doing the what I felt were bare minimum, because you would have to do them regardless. You would still need water and electricity if I were here or if I were not.
Yeah, and
I was making a point and I lost my train of thought. Oh, but I feel like informed is that it's making sure that you're still, because that's still communicating to them what it is that you mean. You're trying to explain money. You're telling them how you're using that to inform them as to why they need to turn the lights off. Where I feel that gentle parenting is simply reminding them that it's just a part of responsibility and things that they do. When you wake up, you do this, and we turn off the lights, and we blah, 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 blah. I feel like there's a difference in there. Does that make sense?
Oh, so you feel like it's a difference between what I try to do to them and gentle parenting, when I try to inform them on why.
No, I'm talking about communication in
okay.
particular. It says, what role does communication play in gentle parenting? I feel like in gentle parenting, communication is important, but I don't want us to mix up gentle parenting with just being informed and giving them information thinking that they're supposed to comprehend it right then. Because in my children, they're only 5 and 6. No matter how many times you tell them about money, they still don't understand how it works and is getting ready to change, right? So they don't understand that concept. That's giving them information. You're still communicating with them, but are you communicating in a way that they can understand? I feel like gentle parenting is trying to communicate on their level. In a way that they can understand. And that's where we struggle as adults, because we don't understand how to think like children anymore. Like, I need you to get to where I am. I can't come back to where you are. And it becomes frustrating because we feel like we have to stop and break it down, which is why I have so much respect for teachers.
Teachers are highly underpaid.
Because the fact that you have to take your brain back to where theirs is and be on that level with those children, communicate with them that way in order for them to understand, I commend you. I'm not patient enough.
Could you imagine being in a room with 15 other legacies and legends?
I could not.
Oh, we got another phone call, y'all. Our second phone call.
Yay, we popping today. Y'all like this subject? Hey.
Who we got?
Hey, this is Ruby and Delisa.
Hi, Ruby. Hi, Dee. Hello,
Ruby and Dee.
It's my bestie friends, guys. What did y'all want to contribute?
So I definitely wanted to contribute as far as like communication and the parenting, because obviously like Dee had the same kind of mindset of like, you know, this is lean towards what I feel is gentle parenting. But when it comes to communication, I feel like I over communicate and I over explain that sometimes, and this is totally like saying to me, like sometimes my over communication negates the behavior we're trying to correct. So I think when it comes to communicating with our kids, we need to communicate, hey, this behavior is not okay because of this, or, you know, we want to instill this in you and your actions kind of negate that. However, when I over-explain of, like, I go so deep and all other things, it's kind of like, what are you even talking about? You know, like, sometimes
you lose it. I see that happen often, and we'll see our kids just gloss over.
Right. And I, like, when as Mama Bear, like, they're going to hear us over-communicating, and they're going to, like, oh, yeah, she got my back. But it's like we do too much explaining, you know, in an attempt to appease our partner, but it's like, actually, we kind of just did nothing for the situation because they're like, oh, she's there for us. So I think communication is very tricky when it comes to
I agree. I 100% agree. My mom, thank you guys, Dee and Ruby, for your input.
Thank you.
I would.
You're so welcome.
Thanks for calling. I'm just kidding.
Bye, y'all.
I would agree with that. I would say that we communicate differently to the kids ourselves. We communicate the same thing, but we communicate it differently. And I think they try to play on that when it comes to certain things that they want. They know to come to talk to you about certain things or to come and ask me for certain things to try and get a yes.
I ain't even talked to you about that. I said before I left the house yesterday, Legacy was not allowed to play the video game because he broke the blinds. And first thing he said to me today was, I said it to you before I left. Because he asked before I left.
I thought you said he couldn't watch TV.
No, he couldn't play video games. First thing he said this morning when he was about to ask me, Mommy let me play video games yesterday.
Yeah. So
y'all, he's smart.
No limit soldiers. I raised some different ones, man. I still, like I said, I am proud of the way that I communicate with my children and the way that my children can communicate with others. I am not one of those parents who refuse to apologize. If I mess up, I make sure that I apologize to them and let them know that it was mommy's fault. Mommy made a mistake, or mommy was irritated, or mommy had a big emotion and she should have done it handled that differently. So I definitely circle back if I do feel like, ooh, I may have said something that was unkind, or I don't want, I have a tendency of overthinking, and I think my children may have that tendency as well. And I never want the voice of mine that they hear in their head to not be one of encouragement, right? Or to not be one of love and light and, somebody that they want to talk to. So I always try and circle back and be like, ooh.
Yeah, I mean, because there's always those times you remember in your head as a kid when you knew your parent was wrong and they didn't come back and apologize for being wrong. And that sat with you. So don't be afraid to say you were wrong to your kids. I said it yesterday. I told Legacy my bad. I thought he did something, but he didn't. And I was like, my bad.
What role would you say communication plays in gentle parenting when it comes to the family and friends that are around around your child? So this question is more so for the people whose parents or friends don't support the way that you're parenting, if you're going the gentle parent route, or if you're not going the gentle parent route and there's some judgment there between your families. What role does communication play in that for families?
I think us having these types of conversations with people who are going to be around our kids, because it takes a village, no matter who it is, to raise kids, and just having that open and honest dialogue, like, hey, we don't whoop them unless it's an absolute need to whoop them. We just don't be bopping them over the head just for no reason. But I would say for people who are 100% gentle parenting, if you have parents that watch your kids or friends or cousins or whoever, sisters, brothers, who watch your kids and they don't believe in gentle parenting and they tell you before you drop them off, I whoop kids, you might not want to drop them off. That's just someone you do not have in your village to watch your kids. I think it's all about communicating with what you want, because that's all that matters in the end, is how you want to parent your child. And there might be plenty of people who disagree with how we parent our children, even though we are somewhere in the middle.
I would agree. But I've always been, when it comes to things like that, I will make a way for me to be independent before I sacrifice a belief that I really stand on like that. Luckily, in my family, that's not something that I've had to deal with often.
That's right, Nashi.
And it's not something that you've had to deal with coming into it, my parents telling you how you're supposed to, because I understand sometimes being the bonus parent coming into an already established parental relationship or a family, it can be difficult, especially if your in-laws or whatnot are looking at you like, first of all, watch how you're talking to, my grandbabies or this, that, and the other, as though you're still outside of the home or outside of the family. And that's not something I don't feel. You could correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't feel my family.
They're good with that. They're good. Everybody's good with that. They just look and it's like, hey, I understand. I've been there before. I've been that frustrated before if they see me pop off because they done something for the 333rd time that I told them not to do. So, yeah, Nashi said, I beat ass. That's my cousin, and yeah.
Jazzy said, my mom was notorious for getting me gifts instead of just apologizing. That's unfortunate.
Trauma.
Right, emotional damage.
I'm sorry, Jazzy.
Yeah, I'd be like, thank you for this, but I also want my sorry. Like,
yeah.
I'd like my sorry. How would you say that you encourage positive behavior in the kids without resorting to punishment or reward systems?
I just think it's kind of how we live and what our niche is and our zhuzh. Like, we're love, light, and positivity with a little bit of gangster in the back. The gangster's always simmering in the back just in case you try us. But we are usually all love, light, and positivity.
And 93% of the time.
Yeah. And 6 of that percent is hers and 1 is mine. So I think it's just how we lead by example. So, for example, I was telling you the other day when your brother was walking to go get Legend from school with Legacy, and I think your brother was joking with him and said something that was unkind, because we use that in our household. Oh, that was not kind. So he joked and said something to him, and he was like, hey, we don't talk like that. We are kind people.
They will regurgitate the lessons.
Yeah, they don't like bullying. They take up for other kids. So outside the house, y'all, they good kids. It's just when they get in front of us, that's switch flip.
I would agree. I would say the way that we live our lives, just living by examples, and trying to highlight the because they see the bad. They see us when we blow up just as much as they see us when we're doing good. So I try and highlight when we're doing something well, and I see them show those same characteristics as well. Like, family is very important to me, and I tell them they're each other's best friends. That's your brother. At the end of the day, that is your brother. That is your best friend. Y'all, you stick it out, y'all are together. That's family. And I show that by trying to be that to my siblings as well. So whenever they see their Uncle Monkey or their Uncle Poppy or their Uncle Dennis, I make sure that I'm showing that embrace and how much I love them. And I'm reminding them that that's my little brother, right? This is your little brother. You want this type of relationship when you get older, and you guys can drive and you can this, that, and other. You're going to still want that best friend. And, I celebrate them when they celebrate each other. Just the other day, like, they're always fighting, because when you spend as much time as they do with each other, there are certain things that are going to annoy you. But just the other day, we took them to a birthday party. It was a little jungle gym, and within 5 minutes of each other, they came running into the room crying because they couldn't find the other one. I can't find my brother.
Like on cue.
Yeah.
Full face of tears on cue.
And I was like, well, he's on, the playground. So if you go back to the playground, I'm sure you can find him. And a few minutes later, the other one comes running into the room. I can't find my brother. Okay, all right, let's go find your brother, right? So I think just those type of things, and showing them by example how we love on each other, how we love on them, just asking their permission for hugs and
that is one thing I think we do very well, is asking them, can I have a hug? Mm-hmm. And not just forcing yourself. Yes,
they have full autonomy of their bodies. The only thing that we are really just adamant about is the fact that they wash them, right? Wash your bodies. Get in the tub. So I would agree with that as far as how we encourage it. And then with us being parents and talking about our parents, how do you feel that you could have been parented gently or gentler?
Like I said, with my mother, she was a pretty gentle parent. I feel like I was kind of like a second parent in the home myself, once I got to a certain age. But as far as my mother goes, nothing. But my father, on the other hand, and I can probably only count on one hand how many times I got a whooping from him, but I remember every single one of those. That's trauma.
Emotional damage.
So just as a little example, me and my sister, he was taking us home back to our respective mothers. She had a different mother than me, so he was taking us both home. And I don't remember what we was in the back cackling about, but we were laughing hysterically about something that was funny to us. And I don't know, Howard was just in a bad mood at that point in time, and he told us to stop laughing the first time, and I think I let out a couple more times, and that just set him off. Hey, my man turned around and punched me right in the nose.
In the face?
Yes, in the face. Ouch. I don't know if my mama know that story, but if you listening, mama, yeah, that happened.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I don't think I ever laughed around him again.
Wow, because wasn't shit funny? Nah, I'd have been waiting on my moment because I'm getting my lick back, sir.
That's cold. Nah.
I'd have been waiting on my moment. You're going to get old eventually. And I'm going to kick the shit out that cane. I swear. I'm ready. That's the only time my patience would have kicked in, y'all. I'd have been patient as all get out.
Y'all, Howard has transitioned.
As soon as his knees looked like they was going to sneeze, I was going to take him down.
Howard has transitioned, so I can't really do that.
Yeah, you missed your opportunity. I don't know what to tell you. I would, in my face. Oh my gosh, I wasn't built like that, y'all. Growing up,
that's because I was still snickering and going like this and lean forward, and the little hole in between the seats. That's why he caught me in the face. I don't think he was trying to catch me in the face. He might not even been trying to punch me. He might have been trying to grab me or something, but it came out as a punch.
Oh my goodness, that's crazy. How old are you?
I had to be in like maybe 9, 10, something like that.
Okay. All right. That makes sense. I was like, nah, fam. I would have climbed him like a goddamn spider monkey on the back seat. But nah, at 9, 10, I probably would have cried in the back. Yeah.
Nah,
or just been mad.
He didn't even allow you to cry, though.
Oh, no.
Yeah, he ain't allow you to cry either. That annoyed him too.
Oh, nah, that's crazy. I'm telling you, I would have turned into a rabbit monkey on his happy down. But again, no, I didn't start fighting adults till I was like 12.
You know what? I just thought about another traumatizing time too. Oh, man,
no.
that's terrible.
Welcome to Laugh Therapy, guys.
Hell
Y'all
yeah,
gonna
we
laugh
working it
through
out
this
right now.
trauma.
We
Yeah,
working
y'all
it
gonna
out.
laugh through this trauma with us. How do I feel I could have been parented gentler?
I feel like your answer gonna take up the rest of the time.
Ooh. No, I feel like as far as whoopings go, I didn't get very many after a certain age, but also because of my pride and because in my mind, if I am right, I am right. That's just it. There's no changing my mind that I'm wrong. I might be able to see your point of view, but you're still wrong. Like that.
She's still
I'm not
like
folding,
that
and I've been that way my entire life. Right is right and wrong is wrong. So if I think I scared my parents, actually. I remember getting a whooping by my stepdad, and he was sitting on the couch. And it pissed me off that he was too lazy to stand up to whoop me. So he was sitting on the couch trying to whoop me, but I was also pissed off because I was right. I don't even remember what I was right about. I just remember the feeling that I was right. And he started to whoop me. I didn't move. I didn't budge. I didn't cry. I didn't flinch. I didn't nothing. Every time he hit me, it was like that Denzel Washington situation in Glory. I just stood there, and I would not break eye contact with him. And he looked at me and he pushed me, and I remember him standing up finally, like, okay, like, you think you're tough. And he hit me again, and I just kept looking at him. I was staring him straight in his doggone face. And I'm pretty sure I scared him in that moment because he didn't know what was happening. And he just dropped the belt and he was like, you can get out. I was like 12. Get out and go where, sir? You that mad that you couldn't get me to respond the way that you wanted to respond?
By the way, I love Daddy Dewan now.
I absolutely adore my dad now, guys. Do not get me wrong. That is my pappy. He did the best that he doggone could. And I was not a gentle child. Okay, I was very, very far from a gentle child.
That's why they act like that.
Yeah, like I said, like she said, as soon as she said her daddy hit her in her face, I was like, and a fight didn't ensue. I don't care if he was driving, like what? But again, I did not start fighting adults until I was 12. And it was for that reason. She hit me in my face.
Yeah, you were encouraged to have dreams and hopes and you can be anything you can be. I was taught to do what I was told and listen, and there's a right way, wrong way. You were taught maybe there's a different way.
Right, yeah.
That's why
there's some gray. We just didn't know how to get to the next level with it, but I very much so am grateful that I was born into a family of dreamers and who encouraged me to dream as well, because now I am pursuing and living, things that they prayed for, things that I've prayed for, things that I've dreamt of. So yeah, I love the fact that I was born into a family of dreamers.
Yeah,
thank you, Mom, and Gagi, and me, and Aunt Carmen, and everybody.
Yeah, Nashi, if she was getting whoopings from Jamaicans, yeah, it would have been a whole thing.
Yeah, no, toe to toe. I was going toe to toe. I've had 5 step parents. My mother's only remarried once, but my
she
dad
fought them
did the
all.
rest of them. I fought them all, except one. Except one. And she fought the person she married. But anyway, but every single step parent we've had to have a tussle.
We all love light and positivity now.
I know. Look at God.
Won't he do it?
Look at the growth. Shit about a Hyundai. Do you hear me? Growth. This is growth you're saying. If you knew better, you do better. But I've always been that way. I've always been right is right, wrong is wrong. And if I am right, acknowledge that. You don't get to make me acknowledge when you are right. But then when I'm right, that's just the end of that. But we are wrapping up. We're getting the wrap it up from our CEO. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to Laugh Therapy. Again, for those of you who are interested in having an ad promoting your business, we are available for that. Those are available for purchase. And for those of you who are interested in having your music played for banging or basura, again, you can hit us up at JoeK at hot7025.com. And you very well may be chosen for a slot or a feature on our episode here, on one of our next episodes. Join us next week to discuss LGBTQ and the black church. LGBTQ in the Black Church is going to be a very interesting conversation. We are already wrapping up our panel, and I'm super excited to talk to you guys about that. Tune in next week, Thursday at 4 p.m. ST, and we will catch you then.
All right, see y'all.